5, so you get 3 at least.
Well, I'm Joe Ferris, one of 4 of the REIG LLC group that purchased this property. I'm a 30-year career mail carrier at the post office. I'm also ex-Navy, as well as all 4 of us. All 4 of us are ex-military and Navy at that. So, yeah, we ride motorcycles. We hang out together, and now we're investing together. We've been friends since about the 5th grade, and now we 50 plus. So it's a long time bond for the 4 of us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm Greg Beverly. I also work for the post office. I drive trucks for the post office.
Bring me to work.
Yeah. But like you said, Navy career, ride motorcycles, vets, you name it, we do. So, yeah.
Kennedy. Like I said, we got together, we've been knowing each other a while. Like I said, we ride motorcycles, we grew up together, we played together. And just came up with something, getting to that point where we was getting older, we were like, hey, getting close to retirement, what are we gonna do? We were like, well, this is something, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna do something with houses. So this is how we got to this point. So this is our first, well, we only had rental property, but this is our first one that we was gonna try to flip. That's like the exit strategy to this house. It's to flip it. So we welcome them all ideas, so whatever you saw or you think we can do or what might look good, might not look good, hey, we taking it all in. So that's about it.
Yeah, referrals, connects, all that.
Referrals, connects, I hear that, everything.
Yeah, all that.
Absolutely.
I got a notepad in my backpack.
You gotta take it out for it. Oh, you got it. Don't.
Okay. So I'm gonna expound on that right there. What's your role in this partnership, Joe?
My role in this partnership right now is manager, managing pretty much on this project, the contracts, vetting the contractors to come out and give bids on different scopes of work. We all share, we all share that load, but that's my main thing right now is managing.
Okay. So that's why he got the pad, because he's ready to get these referrals and all these ideas y'all got.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I basically was the one that found it. I'm like to go out looking, find it, or they send me stuff, but I'm the one that found it. One of the classmates of mine showed it to me, so she did a good job.
Me, I just fill in the gap.
Real CEO
So if something needs to be done, hey, if I need to do it, I do it.
Would you say you on the paperwork side?
Yeah.
You deal with numbers and paper. Darron, our 4th partner, he works for Alabama Power. He's not here, couldn't get off work. Of course, we had storm there on, all hands on deck. So they had all kind of outages throughout the state. So he couldn't be here today. He hated to miss it. He was texting me earlier.
Yeah, he keeps everything money.
Yeah.
He's the money man.
He's the bank guy.
Real good.
He sets up the accounts and handles all the money.
One of the things that I want you to understand is that whenever you're in a partnership, whether it's husband and wife, friends, strangers, it is so important that everybody knows their role. It is so important that there is a leader to the aspect of what you're doing. And it's not to say that the other people don't have say-so or they don't have input, but there needs to be somebody in charge that's keeping that section going at all times. And for a lot of people, it's tough to swallow that pride and that ego and say, hey, this your area, I'm going to give my input, but you make the final decision. But in order to make a partnership work, you have to trust each other, you have to lean on each other, and you have to believe that the person in charge has the group best interests at heart. So I know we got some people that's partnering out here. Identify roles in the beginning.
Because If you do it in the middle, it gets a little emotional. You feel like you're trying to tell me I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, but it's so important to do it as much as you can at the beginning. There's going to be some roles that come up and you're going to have to decide, well, who does this fit best with? Like, who would execute in excellence in this as it comes up? Don't stress about those. Just know that if you have that conversation in the beginning, in the middle, it makes it so much easier to have that conversation, because we all know that we may get some additional roles, and we all know that who works best in that area. So, for example, when it comes to, y'all know I don't like to count, okay? The only way I can count is if it's on the spreadsheet and I put in that formula. I'm good with spreadsheets. I can create a formula that's like ridiculous. But if you tell me to count off the top of my head, we had this conversation the other day. Tonya said, you know how much we spent on marketing in this area? No, like, it's on the spreadsheet. Like, I gotta go to the spreadsheet. I can't calculate that in my head, off the top of my head. But that's not my strong point. Now, if you tell me, you remember what that document said, you remember what that banner said, you remember what that conversation was, that memory comes back like it's impeccable. But for some reason, when it comes to numbers, it's like gray area. Like, no. That's not where I work in my excellence. That's his excellence. That's why he's the accountant. So always identifying what your excellent strategy is, what your excellent strength is important. Sometimes your partners know where your operating excellence is better than you do. And a lot of times it's the things that you don't like to do that is really your excellent strength. But you don't like to do it.
But I would say if 2-man crew, there needs to be somebody in charge of the rehab. There needs to be somebody in charge of the numbers. There also need to be, whether it's the same people, however you split it up, there needs to be somebody in charge of acquisitions and looking for properties. Always looking for properties. So those are key things that in a partnership, I identify those three first. Who gonna manage the rehab? Who gonna find the properties? Who gonna do the paperwork and budgeting side of it?
All right.
I do have a question that came in.
Okay.
Is there going to be a rental property, or are they going to sell it?
This is our exit strategy for this property is
Flip, yeah.
we're planning on putting it back on the market within, it says 6 months on our, our outlook, but hopefully soon, because we closed on it on the first part of February, like February the 5th. So we're aggressively and actively seeking the winning numbers to come through on the contractor bids and everything, but we're still taking, like I said, this is a network session, so if anybody has any contractors or any electricians, anything like that we can, reach out to, they're still welcome to come and give us a bid on any scope of work that we got laid out before us. Because as y'all saw as you walk the property, everything is we bought it just like this, minus the club. We got it. You couldn't even stand in here. It was like a hoarder lived here. The boxes piled up from the garage door all the way around to the pool table.
So we also took the deck down too.
Yeah, the only thing we've done is had the deck demolished because it was a safety hazard. If you walk out there, you was subject to be 3 feet up under the deck, like on the step. So we got that handled off the top.
So the formal name for what stage of the project they're in is the pre-construction phase. All right, in the pre-construction phase, being that they didn't have access to the property before they closed, right now they're in the pre-construction phase, meaning they are clearly outlining the contractors that they want to use. They are clearly outlining what the plan is. They are clearly outlining the vision. That's in this pre-construction phase. Being that this their first one, yes, they all have a network, but bringing it together to see exactly what works best for this project. Pre-construction is so important because if you get into it and you don't do this pre-construction phase, you're going to end up having a lot of change orders on the back end, where things that could have been included in the scope of work on the front end, either you missed them or you overlooked them, and that's going to run your budget up. And a lot of times we watch TV and HGTV, and on day 2 they got the dumpster, they got the crew, they got everything going, but they already have the people as a part of their team. If you in the beginning phases, you're not going to have that team. Don't be afraid to take 30 days to find the right contractors, because with contractors, prices vary $2, $3, $4, $5, $10,000. Don't be afraid to take that time to make sure that all things are right and you got the right people. All right.
I want to add on that real quick. One of the common questions that I get is, well, in 30 days, my interest payment's going to be due, and I haven't did any work done to the house. Like, what am I going to do? How am I going to pay it? You're going to pay it with the money that you put aside to start the rehab. Let me say that. Secondly, remember that if contractor bids are coming in $5,000, $10,000 apart, I would prefer to save $5,000 by finding the right contractor versus worrying about a $1,500 payment. Because you rushing into that phase, you rushing into that construction project without a clear vision, without a team lined up, yes, you may get into it fast, but you're going to stay in it longer because you haven't fully mapped it out. So the money that you think you're saving by trying to hurry up and move, you're really not saving any money if every contractor you go with is $5,000, $3,000, $2,000 over with someone else who could have done the job just as good. So, y'all, the pre-construction phase is the most important phase of the project, because if you put a contractor in too fast and something happens, now you got to remand the project. And what happens when you remand the project is everything, no matter how good it is, everything is going to be horrible to the next contractor. And they're going to tell you, we got to rip that out, we got to take this out, versus how do we go from here? So save yourself the headache and time and find that contractor that's good. Take that pre-construction time serious. Don't rush into the project, because you're going to save money by doing the work in the beginning versus rushing and trying to, like, what you rushing to? That's like, what you rushing to? You rushing to put it on the market, but if you get an FHA buyer and you finish it before your 3 months, you can't accept that FHA buyer. So don't be so quick to rush and not have direction. Have direction and then go.
For us, what starting the project quickly means is you're going to go over budget. And when you go over budget, that limits your exit strategies. Because if you're too far over budget, you limit the possibility of refinancing on the property and getting your money back. You have to refinance and probably bring money to the closing table. But I'm going to always try to stick in my budget so I can keep either I can flip it or I'm going to refinance it, so that I have those options. That's why a lot of times buying real estate doesn't scare us, because we always know if we get into a market and it's not selling, if we get what we're supposed to do on the front end, we can refinance it and keep the property. Now, whether you rent it, Airbnb, whatever you do after that, that's up to you. But the possibility of refinancing and going on to the next project is the most important thing to us. But if you over budget $15,000, $20,000, the only option is to flip it at that point. Mm-hmm. Questions? Ask all y'all. Listen, this is for questions. Like,
you said 6 months. So, what is a typical time for you all to flip it? What is a typical time to spend on pre-construction phase?
In an ideal world, 30 days.
For pre-construction.
For pre-construction. I want in 30 days. I want to be in pre-construction. But one of the things that they ran into was it was so much stuff in here. Whew, you couldn't even really get to the pre-construction.
If you check your email, the second page got pictures.
What was going on? So they kind of had to slow poke it a little bit because they had to get it cleaned out to even walk it.
And then they couldn't clean it out before they bought it, because you don't want to spend money cleaning out something and it's not officially yours.
Right.
So you don't want to take that risk and something happens, the lender not approved the loan, and now you done spent money on the house that you don't even own. So they had to literally wait. Go ahead.
Yeah, and to add to that, we did have a hiccup in that process. The original lender that we actually went with, they backed out the deal because they didn't like the location of the property. Yeah. It's like it's too close to the highway, it's next to a business. We just don't like it. So we threw some weeks behind on our closing date. We actually asked for an extension on the closing, and we found, another hard money lender that was like, hey, we're gonna let you know on the front end whether we're able to do it or not, because we don't even do properties that we can't see a profit in or we don't see it working. So we felt confident in the ones that end up, closing the deal.
Absolutely.
The numbers were good. Yes.
And
Don't
I think
leave
you
with y'all questions.
yeah, I think you just said a key point. Every hard money lender may not fund your deal. So while you may think it is perfect and it's the right one, they may say, I think we had one, they said it was an easement nearby, so they didn't want to fund it.
Right.
What? Like, all this land, what you mean? Everybody has their own specifications. And one reason why they have those specs, let me say that, because sometimes we get into it and we're like, man, that's some crap. But they've been burnt before. So they're trying to make the most, the best decision for their company, because they don't want the house at the end. Like, if you can't sell it, they don't want it back. They need you to be able to sell it. So they want to make sure that you check every box that they have, because they got some scars on this back that they don't want to experience again.
One thing I want to mention while it's on my mind, don't be alarmed if you're turned down. It's not credit worthiness, because we got 800 plus credit scores. I mean, literally. And when you see a denial on, it's not about your credit score or your credit worthiness when it comes to hard money lenders. They're looking at it from a different set of lenses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's about the profit margin and all that, and whether or not the deal is a doable deal. So don't be afraid to get that denial letter, because we did with an 830.
Question?
Yeah. Did y'all do anything special to learn how to do this, or to hone in your skills? Like, you are the finder and you the paper and you the fill-in. Did y'all do anything special so that y'all could become experts?
Just like what you doing now.
We became students of the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we just like y'all. Yeah.
You know.
I mean, like he said, we have had rental property before. We knew all that, but he ended up seeing him and them, and we ended up saying,
And we came to one of these.
Yeah.
Property walk.
yeah,
And we joined the academy.
yeah, we joined in.
We're
Yeah.
students
Okay.
of the game, just like
you. Yeah.
many of us.
We were standing on the other side, just like you. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
All right, y'all got to walk them through this, because I know when we first talked, let me say this, they remind me so much of my dad and his homeboys. All right, so when I met them, I'm like, sheesh, like, it's like talking to my daddy and all his homeboys. This is so crazy. But it was a good conversation, because not many times do you get black men that are not talking about other things, but are talking about how do we make some money, how do we build a legacy, how do we build generational wealth for our family, how do we change the dynamics. And you don't get that often. You surely don't get 4 of them that often to come together, like, because men have egos, like, it's a lot going on. But to be able to come together to understand each other's strengths and be able to do this, I think is really amazing. When you guys first decided that you were gonna get into business with each other, what hurdles did you guys face, like, before actually pulling the trigger?
Before you answer that question, how long did y'all have the LLC before y'all actually started? Come on, tell the truth.
21.
Well, we got together. I had a couple of LLCs before, so we decided we're gonna do this. So we went and got the LLC. And it's 25. I would say like 22. Yeah, probably like 22. So we got the LLC. We ain't got no money. So I was like, man, we gonna need some money. So we started putting a little money in the bank account.
Right.
We started doing that, and then we stopped.
We said we were gonna do 5,000 a piece.
Yeah, then we
at our
stopped
own
doing
pace.
it. Then we like, and then I was looking on the internet and I kept seeing the demos. You know, I'm on Facebook, kept seeing it. And so then Jackie, I saw Jackie was on there. I knew Jackie, man. Jackie lived across a street over from each other. So I knew her. I was like, damn, Jackie's doing it. You know what I'm saying? Let me look into it some more. So I talked to Antonio one time, and I called Jackie. I said, Jackie, tell me what's up with these Denmark people. So we talked for about an hour. Cause I don't know, me using the car. Me using the car.
Yeah.
So we talked. Jackie said, yeah, da. I said, okay, well, I said, we're gonna do the academy, we're gonna do it. And she was like, okay. And I think about a month or two later, we after talking to them, and we ponied up the money, and they just went ahead and
headed out of town on a motorcycle trip.
coming to the walkthroughs, listening to the tape and everything. And it just kind of went from there. Yeah. So it was about 2 years.
It was a 2-year window where they had made a decision to do it, but had not been able to execute it. Money was a hurdle.
I'm sorry. So look, let me say this. Please don't record. Please don't record.
Oh,
Make
don't
sure
record.
don't record because it's already live streamed. So
Okay.
don't record it. And
It'll be in the
because
group.
there may be some information that we may have to take down, and I can't take it down if you recorded it. If they say something where they're trying to give you some insight that they don't want others to know. So I ask, please don't record.
From one of the biggest hurdle was money, and that's probably there's 2 things that stop a lot of people: money and fear. Those are the things that be like, I ain't taking all my little savings and doing that. So money is one of the first things that we tackled, and like he said, they had some solid credit, so we used their credit to go get business funding. So like 2 of them went and got business funding, and they got over 200,000 between the 2 of them in business funding. So when you see the money on the sheet of the 31,000 that they brought, it wasn't that 5,000 they was trying to save for real. Ideally, it comes from the business funding. Now in this situation, we had a hiccup with the business funding, and Kenny ended up pulling it from his 401k, but he's going to replace it with the business funding. All right, but it's so important to understand that there are multiple ways to do real estate. It does not rely on how much money you got in the bank. It doesn't rely on your credit score. Because I can tell you all 4 of them ain't got 800. So understand that partnerships, leverage, OPM, being around the right people is what can help you really get started.
What's OPM?
Other people's money.
Okay. Good job. Good job.
We get some more questions.
Somebody living here? Y'all got it?
No.
This house actually belonged to the church next door.
Okay.
The church was for sale at the time as well. Originally, my church, which is up in Pratt City, looked at that property, and it was a package deal. The house and the church was one package deal at about $300,000-$400,000. I forgot what the asking price was at the time, but I guess they had some renegotiation to go on where they wanted to split the deal. So they sold the church separately. They closed a week before we did, right? The church. No,
It was
About a week before.
about a week
No, I
before.
thought it was the same
A
day.
congregation bought the church next door. They closed a week before we did, and this house was sold separate. They were asking $95,000. We got it for $75,000. We counter offered, and they took our counter offer. We only had a counter offer one time.
Should have went lower.
We actually,
We should have went lower.
Hindsight, really, we should have.
After we sit down at
They
the
probably would
table.
have jumped on it because they just really trying to get
If
it
we
out.
sit down at the table with them, we could have got them.
That was probably the funniest
Like,
thing.
for real.
They were at closing, and after we popped the bottles, it was like, we should have renegotiated.
we could have got them. I
Because
mean,
we knew they would have took
they
it.
would have took it.
They
Yeah.
probably would have took
We
60.
could have got them.
They were motivated at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what happens a lot of time is because they were asking 95 and they got it for 75, in our minds, that's a deal. I got a discount on it. But understand, I really don't care what they're asking. I'm going to follow my number.
Right.
And you got to keep that in mind when you're making offers. If they asking 120, your number say 75, you offer 70. Like, you got to follow your numbers. And you can't get emotional just because you got them to come down 20, 30,000 off the asking price.
Especially if you're still over 5,000 or 6,000. Like, get to your number and stand firm on your number, because anything over could literally make it go haywire.
Mm-hmm.
I had I was reviewing a term sheet last week with the student, and he was like, why do I have to bring so much to closing? And I had to tell him, like, the reason why you have to bring so much to closing is because you went over, because you got excited because they countered, and then you accepted that counter, but you went over 13,500. So you got to pay that difference because the lender is only going to give you what they're going to give you. Some lenders, if you're brand new and you go over 13,000, they're going to tell you no, absolutely not, because you ain't got no experience, you ain't got no track record. Why am I trusting you with 200,000 and you going over? So it's really important to stick to those numbers and don't get mad at the process. Stick to your numbers, because at the end of the day, if that lender don't fund, it's not their fault. It's our fault because we didn't do our due diligence.
I think they was asking 130 for the property, and he offered like 90, which was his number was 90, and they countered like 105 or something like that. He jumped on it. I got a deal
because they dropped it this much. How much they drop it does not matter. Right. Your numbers matter at the end of the day. Like, you got to make sure you stay in those calculations. They're there for a reason. There's no reason to recreate it. They're there for a reason.
I mean, don't get us wrong. Our numbers was about 70, 75.
Numbers was still good.
Yeah.
You just said we could have made it squeezed a little bit more.
Because they were motivated at the table.
Yeah.
Like,
we could have squeezed them.
Yeah. We didn't want to seem like
they could have said this clean out is a little bit more than we anticipated based on the quotes we
so
got
how much
back.
do you think you could have squeezed?
We could have probably got it for about 55.
I was gonna say 65.
No, we
well, yeah, that's just our
well, that was just
They
I mean, right. But I mean, like when we were sitting at the table and we saw the people,
Yeah.
we figured, yeah, we could have got it. It was just that simple.
But you know, everybody's motivation is different, y'all.
And motivation changes by the day, by the hour.
I mean, yeah, because like they say, you don't know who you're dealing with when you talking to these realtors. We didn't have a clue.
Then they in North Alabama. They wasn't trying to
They
come
wasn't
up and
here.
down the road,
Yeah.
back and forth. They were like in the Huntsville area, and they were just glad to get it off of them. Because they older. And they moved on.
Yeah, because I think the people that was living in the house was the pastor and his wife. So, we got that information from postal. One of the post lady. She told us that
working, baby.
That working, right. So yeah, she told us that the daughter came and picked the mom and dad up and moved them up north. Yeah. So yeah.
So was the utilities on in this house when you purchased it, or they were off?
We just got to cut on Monday.
So let me ask you a question. Looking at your sheet here, what was, maybe I missed it, what was done on the plumbing side? As far as checking the plumbing.
We had. Yeah, we hadn't even had a chance to do it yet. We know we got leaks. Yeah.
Are we on Birmingham Water? Y'all out here with it.
Yeah, Birmingham. Yeah.
So have y'all checked to see if
It's Anfield.
Right.
Yeah, this is
This
352. It's 214.
214, right.
It's Birmingham.
It's Birmingham.
so is there a meter here?
Yeah.
Is the water on?
Yeah, water's on.
Okay.
You work
No
for
tap
Birmingham
meter?
Water Works.
Tap from
She
the
worked for Birmingham Water.
You got that chain on you. You got that phone off though.
Y'all so
I'm just asking questions because if you need to see how the plumbing going, this is the person to go to right here.
Okay.
See, y'all.
we need your
That's what I'm saying.
Badge right here. You're gonna need to check to see if you're gonna have to dig 6 feet from the meter to check to see if that line copper.
So look, the water is on. They just turned it off at the meter. It's
We
already
It's
turned
already
it off.
on. So you don't need a permit to dig or anything.
Don't know yet.
The loop and tap everything good, teacher.
And you work in that other building at the tap.
I work in customer service, but I deal with these type
Because all
of
of a
people every day.
sudden, I had a flashback of when I went there, and I'm like, was that Deidre I was talking to?
All right. So my question, and I know I heard some people talking about it up there. I'm gonna let you go first, D.
So how did they do the evaluation without knowing about the rehab? You know how we get our numbers, you got to have some type of number to rehab, but if you couldn't get in here, how you just...
Well, we was able to get in. It was just a lot of flood on the floor. So you had to watch.
And it wasn't just like
each step.
readily available, like because it was on the market. So if you had to schedule to get in.
Okay.
So
they
you
did.
could get in.
Okay.
It was just It wasn't like a lockbox code where you can just kind of go.
We actually looked at it virtually with them.
Yeah, we came in, we did videos, took pictures when we weren't able to get in, and kind of, put our numbers together.
So today was my first day physically in it, but I knew where everything was because we went and we walked through it virtually.
Yeah. See, when I first came and saw the house with the realtor, I videotaped everything. I think I would have had like
you had a whole. It was too big.
It was too big to see. So I mean, yeah, because I walked through, and so like he said, it looked like you were living on the East Coast, and I was going through a snow pile. Yeah.
What sealed the deal for me in my mind? I don't know about the other guys, but they probably thought the same thing. We showed to Antonio and we asked him, would you invest in this? He said every day and twice on Sunday. That was it for me. When he said he would couple on it, or something like that.
Well, because you guys have
what the
options
ARV
in this
come back
deal.
at?
ARV was at two. No, you mean
The
appraisal?
appraisal, the appraisal on the front end. So the appraisal came back at 218.
Yeah.
This is 222 all day. Like this area, this zip code itself is that. So I understood that if they getting it at 75 and them motherfuckers still standing, it's some room in there to make something happen.
Yeah.
And you glossed over this, Greg. How did you find the property? I think this is so important. How you found the property?
But really, it was really the realtor. She called me. She said,
Go back.
One step before that.
You did something, and then she called you.
We
You had a challenge to go do something.
I put it on Facebook. We had started.
okay.
I put on Facebook. We started a real estate group, whatever.
Right.
We circulated it, and the realtor is one of our classmates. I think.
Yeah, he's my class. Yeah, I graduated.
So they graduated from Jackson High School Mustang. Go Mustang. So she just hit us up on Messenger and said, "Hey, somebody presented me with a property. She was the seller's agent. She was the seller's agent because the buyer agent was the other lady.
Yeah.
So she said, hey, I got this property. People always bring it to me. I always bring it to y'all. See, y'all just started out investing. So here goes some of y'all come take a look at it. That's how we end up finding it.
No money was spent on marketing.
On marketing. Many times you feel like you got to get a list, and I got to skip trace the list, and I got to go find a lead source, and then I got to go knock on doors, and I got to go talk to people. I got to go ride by just to see. You ain't got to do all that. There's 3 ways you find deals. You find deals by networking, you find deals from wholesalers, and you find deals from a realtor. All the rest of that is just fluff. Starting out, you don't need to have a big budget for marketing. Like, those are your 3 ways to get deals.
You said wholesaling, dealers, realtors. And
Wholesalers, realtors, and your network. So in this case, that realtor was also a part of their network. But had they not said, listen, we buy houses, we're looking to buy a house in the next few months, then she wouldn't have even known to send that message to them, even though she was a part of their network. So it's important to tell people, hey, I'm an investor. Not I'm thinking about being an investor. I'm an investor, yeah.
So do we have people in the group that are
all of
investors and real estate agents?
You definitely got investors in the group. You got wholesalers in the group. You got a bunch of realtors in the group. You got a realtor right here. You got a realtor back there. Any other realtors?
Left. She's a realtor, but she had to go back to work.
Wife is a realtor.
She was showing us houses prior to us finding this one. And, she actually got us out, the properties that had lock boxes on them. Showed, the numbers was a little off from the 1 or 2 that we did see. It didn't really make the deal look profitable as far as what we were looking to do. So, then, like I said, networking. We had other people that we knew and grew up with who was a realtor, who happened to be his classmate, who sent us this deal, and we jumped on it. So
one thing I want to piggyback on what Ashley was saying, because I did the challenge, I was riding back from Florida, and I was going through a tutorial thing, and one of the challenges was to do a Facebook group and all that type of stuff. So if you do a little small stuff, because we got so many, we didn't even have the people that we knew that they was into doing flooring, into contract. We got so many hits and so many inquiries like how y'all do it and blah blah. you know, this person do plumbing, this person do this, call this person, do this. So, and all that was from a simple Facebook, a little Facebook post, Facebook video. So definitely, that's one of the first things you're gonna do it. Hey, just put it out there. Like she said, some people don't want to do it. Oh, I don't want to tell nobody what I'm doing. I want to keep it silent till I bring it up. It's not really gonna work like that. Maybe you find your Escalade. If you're gonna do real estate, might want to let everybody know, you know, what you're gonna do. So,
one of the guys we had come out of contract, I met him in the bank, and he was talking to another guy.
One of our first contractors, I told Antonio this week because he commented on a post. I said, all this time, he knew Kenny and Joe. All this time,
Billy.
Oh yeah, that's our friend brother.
Yeah, Billy.
High school fraternity brother, 857. Yeah.
All right. So my question is, what's the vision with the bathroom?
I knew it. It was all right. We both of the bathrooms. We have caught pure mind-boggling hell. Excuse my French, because we've been in here several times looking at those bathrooms, trying to figure out what we were gonna do. So that bathroom in the master bedroom, we're going to turn the shower around. Well, it'll be when you go into the door. All right, which that'll open up the room a little bit more. Instead of having that linoleum in there, you're going to tile the shower.
Okay.
All right, so that'll make that room for that master bedroom. Once you come out, then I know y'all say, well, the master bedroom is small. Well, I know that was going to be a question because that was the questions that we had. Because we were going through the same problem. So we figured, take down that closet, take that closet out, and what we're going to do is go through that hallway bathroom, take some of that bathroom out where that tub is, and we're going to make it a closet back there, which that's going to be behind the hallway bathroom, which that hallway bathroom is also going to have the tub shower, everything. But we thought about that also. We probably gonna get one of those fancy showers that you sit on the floor. You know, that the women like taking baths in. So yeah, we had a lot of thought into it. Trust me, that was the problem though. Yeah.
One thing I would say, I seen a couple of hands from go up, is that a lot of times people are intimidated by that. The only way you get good at rearranging and moving is by doing it. It's by walking these projects and doing that part right there. It don't just come overnight. You just got to get in there, walk so many properties. You got to go see so many finished products.
right?
And then you get ideas, and they start to come out when you have projects.
And you also got to see some things that don't work. To know, okay, I might can't do that again.
And that was one. We bumped into a bunch of stuff that we was like, oh man, this ain't gonna work. This gonna cost money. but it came with a, like you said, we've had 2 or 3 contractors already came in, and I'm talking about, like they said, these guys know what they're doing. And what you think we ought to do with that bathroom? And that's how we ended up.
Keep in mind, they're going to give you the most expensive option because they're in it to make the money.
So your next question is, well, what's the most least expensive option? You think it may cost more to do it that way, or would this way be a little cheaper? And then they'll say, well, you know what, that way you said would be a little cheaper. So then now they start talking about how they can make the cheaper option work. Because upsell is the most important thing that they got to do. That's what feeds their family. Right. Upsell can work. But let's think about the area. Let's think about what's selling in the area. Let's not over-improve it. Right. Because if we over-improve it, we still stuck with a finished product if it don't sell. So let's make sure we're in that budget, we're in the range that we need to be in, and that we are doing what's selling. So if a master has a pedal stool and it's selling, you ain't got to bust through all these walls to get a double vanity. It's selling for the same size, so we're not recreating the real. We just keep hitting it because it's working. Because when you reinvent, now you worry about not making profit. So we want to keep hitting what's working until it stops working.
Because I promise you, 2 weeks ago, we was waiting on y'all. All y'all, but our first thought was, let's see what they gonna say.
But that was a good idea, though.
I didn't even think about that.
Got another idea. I seen her on video talking about it. Oh, your idea. I seen Jen hand slightly go up, and I seen Miss D hand go up. Did your hand go up?
Yeah, but I figured they'll answer
Okay,
your
all right.
answer.
Do you plan on opening the kitchen a little bit, like knocking it wall?
Yep, sure is. Yep.
That wall coming in, the front door that blocks the kitchen, we're opening that up to where you come in that foyer, you'll be walking straight into the kitchen versus going around that wall, you know, and then closing that hallway.
And taking that door out.
The actual opening to the kitchen from the foyer will actually be a continuation of the hallway, like rewalling that portion of the wall, a portion of it. But that whole section of wall that you see coming in the front door will be obsolete. Yeah. So yeah, good observation and question. Because that's the main thing, the first thing that we thought about in the
kitchen,
the rehab phase.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all know our rehab budget is at like 69.3, and we're trying to stay within that budget because everything above your
You're not
rehab
trying
budget,
to do it.
we
That's
are going to do it. There you go. I like it. We are going to do it. Because anything above your budget comes out your pocket.
This one right here, was it enclosed? Well, this was a garage.
Yeah, it was a
Originally
garage.
it was.
So what are you gonna do with this one? What is this one gonna do?
Man, I'm putting it back.
Yeah,
If
we
it
just
works in
gonna
our
leave-
budget.
because we can't make it another garage because if you see that brick wall, it's kind of
Retainer
it
wall
goes in. The
outside.
retainer wall goes in, so you can't
Yeah,
pull a car in
slant.
there.
It's like you wouldn't have
So
to.
we had to tear down that whole retaining wall and redo it in order to make.
So is it just gonna be another room?
It's just gonna be another room.
Okay.
This could. Now
Could
listen
it be
to
a
the
second
question.
living space, like a whole from the first almost? If
It
you
could.
put like a little kitchen down there.
It could be an office or a bedroom.
That
Or
qualifies as a bedroom. Well, my wife said because it has a window and a closet. I'm not a realtor. I'm not. But this is the information I got just from talking to my wife. She said it would qualify as a 4-bedroom because it has a window and a closet.
What y'all appraisal said?
The appraisal. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think they only did it as a 3. They can do
We
it
did it
as
as
a
a 3 too, but I don't
What-
know. That
what
was
did-
my
I'm
question.
sorry to keep on. What did you say the ARV was?
218. So let me make sure I explain that. When you do a hard money loan, they are going to do a appraisal on the front end, and they're going to take your scope of work, and they are going to estimate what that appraisal is on the back end. So that appraisal sets all your terms and your numbers for your loan. So that's super important. One of the things I always recommend is meeting the appraisal and walking them through the project and telling them what your vision is.
Yeah. So they bought it for 70. I'm just trying to understand the numbers. So they bought it for 75, but they're gonna make. Is that what you're saying? That amount is?
No, they bought it for 75. Their rehab budget is 69, and the estimated after repair value is 218.
So we don't know exactly what they're gonna make because it really depends on the buyer and what the buyer and what they sell for. But they know that at the minimum, when they put it back on the market, they gonna put it back for more than 218 because they want to make they want to make 218. So you're gonna put 225, 230, 245 if you feeling.
Yeah. So all of that.
I know it. Speak what you want.
And with those numbers, I mean, you got room to kind of bump your head and still make some money.
Yeah. I know y'all was talking about what can we do in this basement? Could we do a kitchen? You can do anything you want to do in the basement, but one thing you have to be cautious of when you do it and you get that appraisal back and you spent $15,000-$20,000 in that basement, adding the kitchen, adding plumbing, making sure it was laid out. That appraisal is not going to give you a $20,000 or $10,000 increase. You're going to get a $2,500, maybe a $5,000 increase. So spending that money on your basement does not make a great value from an optic point of view, from an eyesight. Absolutely,
Desirable.
it's more desirable. But at the end of the day, you're here to make money, and you're here to not lose. So don't spend the money in the basement. If the basement's already done, spend bare minimum just to make sure it is presentable.
And that's exactly what we want to do.
Vision for the potential buyer.
Yeah,
The new homeowner, they can do all they want to.
Yeah, our mind said, well, fix it up, let it do what it do. Yeah, we weren't trying to do nothing extra. Yeah.
So Ashley, I heard you saying that when you add on things, some things doesn't make the value of the house go up. So what were the things that you said?
That basement doesn't. But things that do is putting that deck back out there.
Right.
That's going to add
That
value.
kitchen.
Doing an enclosed sunroom and making sure it has heating in it and air. That's going to increase your square footage upstairs. So that's going to give you value. Making it from a 1 bathroom to a 2 bathroom is going to do it. Making a 3 third bathroom will give you a bump, but not as much. You can make a 4th bedroom, but it's honestly not ideal if there aren't 4 bedrooms that are selling in the area. So you want to make sure for them, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath is what's selling. Stick to it. Yeah.
Good information.
Add some paint. Don't take down this paneling. Add some paint to this paneling. Make sure the nails ain't nothing lifting and keep it going. Caulk it and move.
We were thinking simple as possible down here.
And we say that, man, but there's times where we done walked the property with a student, and we came back to that property a month later, and all the walls are gone. Y'all laughing, but it's like, shit, what happened to all the walls? Like, we had walls there.
And they said, well,
They done took down all the
the
walls.
contractor said this area was bad. Well, what about that area, that area, and that area?
Like,
They were good.
multiple times. And it's like, y'all know that's going to cost a whole lot more money to reinstall this drywall and mud it and paint it as compared to just leaving that paneling up there and painting it. Like, 2 different price points, 2 different skill sets.
Yeah.
The person that can install that drywall and finish it to make it look like a smooth wall is not the same person that can just paint it and make it look presentable. Those are 2 different skill sets.
Yeah.
And going into it, you make the mistake is it was at code at the time that it was put up, and you taking it down and having to replace it. Now you got to go up to the new code.
Now you exposed.
And that is
that's a big thing. Like,
sound like you got a. It sound like you got a spark on there.
You felt that one. Yeah. So that is a part of it. But I like the bathroom idea.
Yeah, I did.
I like that.
Mine's is crazy.
Yeah, tell them your bathroom idea.
So, you know how the small one in the
bedroom.
Right. I was gonna make that a closet. We're gonna obsolete that bathroom totally. I was gonna make that hallway bathroom the master bath. Make a closet bath, that same area. But I was gonna add another bath into your kitchen area where that wall then is right for the window, and make that and take that part. Since you're gonna remove the wall, it's open, so you won't really be missing that much space. But to just put it right next to it
for a bathroom, hallway bathroom.
But yours is good. I did like that a lot.
Yeah, because we had came up with another one. It was flipping
the hallway bath the way it is. So we were thinking a little bit
Well, we was gonna put a door when you walk straight into it, make that the half bath. When you walk down the hall, make that a half bath, and take the big bath and put a door, and make the master bed an ensuite.
Well, that's still good too. You ain't even moving.
Yeah, we had to move the.
You ain't moving too much.
The one good thing about all of this is all of it is accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do it.
If it was a crawl space and you kind of couldn't get down there and move, that price would be totally different than a person coming in and being able to move it, and it ain't that bad if you got access to it. Right. So that's good.
Yeah. What are you gonna do with the ceiling tiles on the other side?
Well, they're not soft like the new ones, but they are. It's not wood. They're kind of like a little. They still, but we're gonna have to try and find some. You know,
keeping it.
Yeah, because all of them are there. Just some got little stains on, so it's come to
paint it.
Paint it.
Paint it black.
Paint it black.
I was gonna ask, is there a way to connect the bedroom on this side and the bedroom on that side and make the bathroom open to both of those bedrooms? I didn't really look. To do a walk, because I think some houses that have like a
Now the thing with that one, that is the master bedroom. So usually you don't Jack and Jill master bedroom with another bathroom.
Primary bathroom.
Now they did that at my house.
We don't have master.
But he did. Yeah, but they want their own private.
That was the problem because we kept. With me, I was tripping because I was like, man, the master bedroom ain't big. I said, you put a queen in here,
you see with that.
Yeah.
that closet that they built out that didn't have the sheetrock tape and all that. I was thinking right there, that's where the ensuite type bathroom, you know, flipping everything that's in that hall bath the opposite way, where you got the his and her sink on the opposite wall, and the toilet and the shower. I mean, the tub and the toilet. The opposite, you know, where you're walking out of the master suite into the master bath, because that's kind of like the way mine is.
Okay, I gotta go back up there. I just got another one.
Mine was similar to that. Mine was cutting it in half because it was too big and making it 2 bathrooms in one, and then making that bedroom bigger by just taking out that hallway bathroom. So I was thinking the hallway bathroom, you still get in that way, but get in to the master through that new closet area, or you can flip it and make it where when you first walk in the room, you're walking into that bathroom, and then flip the hallway bathroom to the kitchen, because that closet is a walkway on top of the stairs. We'll walk in.
So how many people here are already students with y'all?
I don't know. Let's see.
Raise your hand if you're a student, an ex-flipper student. Hey.
Any other questions? Thoughts? Concerns? Questions?
I do have a question. Are you going to replace the electrical panel here?
Yeah.
We already got some bids on changing that out to breakers versus those.
Nah, like 15. Around 15, between 15 and 18.
No.
For the rewire?
As far as changing the box.
That's your budget.
No, that was it.
Change that
But that was also adding recess lights
recess lights
in the kitchen and the living room area. You know, the living room area to the right of the front door doesn't have.
So they want rewiring on that?
No.
Okay.
Just
They just
change
changed
the
the
panel. Panel box
and a lot of
screw and fuses to.
No, those are just fuses. So,
I was just looking at the
the plugs.
How? Okay, I show you a picture.
I don't think houses is built after 1950 had nothing to
I had to show you a picture of that, but knob and tube, you would see. Just imagine one of them on the wall, and there's some wire wrapping around, and it's still running.
You kind of look like some barbed wire on the fuse.
You got regular wire. It's regular. Yeah, it's like wrapped around. And
like the old telephone pole.
Yeah. So you ain't got knob and tube.
Oh yeah, okay.
No.
I don't worry about that.
Any other questions? Anything online, yes?
Nope.
Great question. Because that is an expense. You got they taking any connection referrals, contractors, or anything? All that. Definitely reach out to Nick Eldridge.
And that is
He's a part of the group. He just got his builder's license, and he's been doing some projects around.
That's when y'all said 13.
Billy
That's why I was
also.
like, damn, we better right.
He gonna be shot to do one of the guys.
Let me take this call.
Y'all know a guy named Chris Salisbury?
Salisbury?
What's up, man?
He right.